So now we have her sitting here, right? And I got my sequence set up, and there's something absolutely huge that I have not done, is that I want to save my project every day, right? So I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to save it. So now I have a new, fresh project. That project is saving it right back where my project files are, right here. And see how I had the one from the 4th, and now here's the one for today. I could open this project up and be right back where we were when we sat down today at the beginning. Sometimes like somebody will say, you know, what happened to that old version? And I won't have it in here in my sequences for some reason. I didn't save it or whatnot. And I'll just go back a couple days and be like, oh, I got it, you know? So now when I'm going through here, I just want to look at Anna. And you can see that we have like 3 angles here. This mutes the layer just so you can't see it. So now we're not seeing this C cam, we're seeing this B cam because you see it in order of the way it's stacked. So if we don't want to see the B cam, mute that, and now we're seeing the A cam. So A, B, C. And if I mute them, I'm seeing each one. So you can see like it's cool to shoot with different angles. This just gives me the opportunity to like use different angles and see her saying different stuff. So now everything's in sync. So let's say we're like, okay, let's like start cutting some stuff together. So usually I'll leave all this. Usually I'll like kind of move off at the beginning of the timeline. I don't like to be mashed up against the front right here. So now I can go in here and kind of be like, okay, let's start like, let's cut her saying a couple sentences, right? So let's just kind of watch what she's saying, right?
C3.
Sorry, C3, take 1.
Because obviously I'm too old to remember when I was 14. Were you 14 or 15 yet?
I'm 14.
Right. So tell me what it's like.
Okay, so I'm setting her up, trying to get her to say something, and then she just goes.
How hard is it? How long have you been dancing? Just kind of tell me a story like I'm a person that can't talk.
It's like the days when...
So we're listening to all these audio tracks right now. Okay, they're all stacked on each other. You're hearing like 6 different microphones. From each camera has 2 mics. So we're just going to mute these and mute all these other ones down here. We're going to keep them there so we know we're still in sync and stuff. But we're going to kind of like mute these so it doesn't sound so crowded. This track down here is empty, so just get rid of it. Right? So now it's all cleaned up. And now we're only going to listen to the A camera microphones.
I don't know. You go every day, you put all your work and effort into it, and then the days
We can go between these 2 mics, this one and this one, and see which one sounds better.
that your leg is, even though it's as high as it can go, you have to make it go higher. Even though your muscles hurt every night, you
Like I think
have to get back, get it
I think this second one sounds better.
up, and go do it again the next day.
It's like a little
And a lot
cleaner.
of
It sounds a
people
little
ask me,
better,
like, why
right?
do you even dance? Like,
Okay, so let's say we want to like start cutting this stuff. I'll leave this whole raw clip right here. I'll be like, okay, we're just going to operate on this section right here. So V is this selector tool, right? This arrow. I just selected a blade, right? I want to cut them all together. So this will let me cut the audio and the video. Let's say we just want to use this stuff right here, right? So we're going to cut all this, and we're going to cut it right here. Do all these cuts. Then I'm going to go back to my selector tool. I'm going to take this, I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy it. Okay, I'm just going to set it over here. Okay, so now I'm sitting here with all this stuff, and I'm just going to leave this right here. If you want to get rid of these cuts that you made, you can hold Command and go like that. Hit delete. Okay. So now we have this little section, right? We're going to operate on this. So we're just going to kind of zoom in and get in here kind of tight on this stuff. I'm going to kind of make this a little bit bigger so I can just kind of see it better. And then it's all about just deciding what you want to do, you know? So
I don't know. You go every day, you put all your work and effort into it. And
okay, so right here, like let's say you want to get rid of all this junk up here. So I'll just take all this, grab it, pull it down here. And this pause right here is long, right? It's long. It's like not good. Dead space, not exciting. Especially if we're doing a 30-second commercial. There's no time for that. You want to keep your stuff tight, man. Keep people excited, right? So we'll delete this. Also, I've been kind of going a little bit. I got some edits here, so I want to make sure I'm saving all the time. Control S. You always want to be just like a tick, man. You're just like, Command S, always, so you don't lose too much if it crashes on you. So now we got her saying this. It's getting a little
The
tighter.
answer is like you go every day, you put all your work and effort into it, and then the days that your leg is shaking, even though it's as high as it can go, you have to make it go higher. Everyone's having sleepovers on Friday night, and I'm getting ready for rehearsal the next day.
That's a good ending, okay? I'm getting for rehearsals next day. And then maybe we would cut to her in a rehearsal or something like that. See how this is like snapping this line here? See how it's hard for me to like get in here and like if I want to go, see how it's like magnetically snapping to this line? If you want it not to do that, this is snapping. Just turn snapping off. Then if I go like this, I can get really close and it's not pulling it right to a line. See, I can get really close. So snapping is right here. It makes it not magnetically snap to a line. Okay, so we're going to go in here. We're going to go back and look at this. And see how that's a little dirty right there, that cut?
Do it again the next day. And I don't...
Like, so you want to cut... You want to make sure you get all these dialogue edits perfect, right? And now see, I want this to snap. I want it to be perfect. So I'm going to turn my snapping back on. Bap! And it makes it go right there without any loss of a frame.
I don't know, just being on stage.
Okay, so we know now that that's feeling kind of tight, right?
Being a dancer is like you go every day, you put all your work and effort into it.
All we're doing now is we're popping between this A cam, right? It's just the A cam, but we have two other cameras up here. So why not like use some of these other angles? So we cut away to different stuff, right? So we start out, let's say we want to start out here with the A cam. We'll take these two B and C cameras and move them up here out of the way. We'll mute these two tracks. So we're going to start on the A cam, right?
Being a dancer is like you go every day, you put all your
See how
work
clean
and
that
effort
is?
into it, and then the days that your leg is shaking, even though it's as high as it can go, you have to make it go higher.
But we're
And then
lagging.
your
But
muscles-
now we've been on this camera forever, right? Doesn't it feel like we've been on this camera forever now? But for this, like, we kind of want to pop around because I feel like right here,
Being a dancer is like
that's one of the things you get to decide as an editor is how choppy do it. It's called being choppy or being long. So there's all different ways you guys can do it. That's up to you. We were pretty happy with what she was saying all through here, right? But now we want to kind of mix up these angles a little bit. We like this angle next, but maybe, you know, then I can mute this track and see this wide shot too. Okay, what's good about having the wide shot is it like establishes the whole set. So we know we're going to we want to do this shot as our second shot, right? So we're going to move this one out of the way because we know we're not going to use this shot. We know we're going to use this one, right? And you can see it goes up here and it gets muted and it disappears because these tracks are muted. So now we're going to cut to this shot.
dancer is like you go every day, you put all your work and effort into it, and then the days that your leg is shaking, even though it's as high as it can go, you have to make it go higher. Even though you're
So then by then I'm feeling like we need to go to another shot, right? Like we're quick here and we're cutting here. Like we want to get to another shot at some point. Maybe then we'll go to our C-cam shot up here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to say, okay, right about, let's say right here, I want to cut this shot. I'm going to move this one up out of the way. And we know we don't want to go back to this one, or maybe we do. Do we want to go from here to here, back to here? Or do we want to go to this close-up one, this side one? Because I like this angle. This is a cool angle, right? So let's try that one. Okay? So I'm going to take it, I'm going to cut it right here. I know that this is the shot that I want. This one right here, right? So move that down. So let's see.
Being a dancer is like you go every day, you put all your work and effort into it, and then the days that your leg is shaking, even though it's as high as it can go, you have to make it go higher. Even though your muscles hurt every night, you have to get up and go do it again the next day.
So maybe we go back to our first shot, okay? Somewhere in here, like we kind of cut maybe somewhere in here. Boom, we go back to this A cam that's been sitting down here, right? So we kind of come back to our first shot before we get to our ending. We want a good shot. This is her last shot. Okay, so we'll get rid of these two. And we're going to go with this one, okay? Okay, so now we have this timeline all done. And we kind of know what we're going to be looking at here. So what I can do is I can come in here and, you know, we're seeing this shot, then we're seeing this shot and this shot, then back to this one. So I can take this shot and move it over here, take these two and just move them down. So then I have my timeline all perfectly in a row down here. And these are my unused trims. So that all sits up here in this like graveyard of stuff that I'm not using anymore. And this down here, this is my actual shots. We also know we like this microphone right here, right? So as long as I'm not going to move any of this picture and throw everything out of sync, I'm just going to get rid of these audio tracks. So I'm not going to use them. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use that. This is my audio track that I'm going to use for everything. I'm just going to put this up on the top right here. And I'm constantly like cleaning it up so I don't have all this empty stuff down here, right? That I'm not using. And so I know that this is what I'm working on. And this is all stuff that I didn't use.